Alrighty, hello everybody, welcome to another round of the North American Mania Tournament. We're just cruising along with this weekend. We actually have a triple header happening with Cacao versus Beta Carotene, Ketsu versus Epsilon, and the streamed match, CRZ Envy versus Shadow GM. I'm Walmart5193. Joining me in the commentary booth is none other than Dynascape. How you doing?
Doing great as always, Walmart. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. And now that you mentioned it, we do have a lot of matches to go through this afternoon, as we are right in the middle of about a 9-hour match play block. But for now, the match that we have on hand is going to be CRZ NB and Shadow_GM, two competitors from the country of Mexico going up. And I think this is going to be quite a good one, as both of them coasting along in their first match, winning 4-0 for both of them respectively. So this is going to be pretty much their first stress test in this tournament.
Yeah, as we progress through the rounds, stakes are going to get more high, especially probably through that from round of 16 and upward. I can already see a couple of hype matches coming up, especially with already the winners of previous rounds or previous matches. But yeah, this will definitely not be a freebie by any stretch of the imagination. It's definitely going to be close. Just looking at, like, even from this warm-up right here, both players view on double S-ing. This is definitely going to more or less put a test to just your overall skill.
I do think it is going to go the distance. Shadow GM just lagging a bit behind in Rice, but really I do think that that is Envy's specialty. We see here Sludge being picked out, the cursed version as well. This might be Shadow GM's warm-up because, to put it bluntly, I think that these players both have opposing skill sets, where Envy wants to pick pretty much anything Rice related, and Shadow GM wanting to go for anything LN related, if there's anything to go off of from their last routes and how that went. So I do think that it is going to be pretty much a battle of Rice versus Noodles. Something that you do see quite often, but we are going to have to see how it turns out in this round 32 match.
Yeah, going into a Sludge, the cursed version, like you said, this is a very interesting chart.
Yeah, it's definitely one way to put it. A lot of timing hell-esque kind of notes put into the map. Just awkward releases, very tight gaps within each column. So
yeah, it's a literal timing hell.
Pretty much trying to get as as many perfects as possible is a good start, and especially as usual minimizing the 200s. And we already see Envy taking a bit of a dip to the accuracy at the moment. A lot of, again, tight gaps to deal with, and just some misses to go with it.
Yeah, as we get into the more timing hell release section of the chart, this is where most 200s get dropped, especially with this being more timing lenient or more timing based than the original. I'm pretty sure the original was featured in MWC 2022. I believe, if I'm correct, round of 16 as one of the Olympics.
Yeah, I believe so as well.
I remember watching the showcase in the backseat of a car and seeing Sludge.
Yeah, I'd be not taking kindly to those very small gaps in the inverse section. Already down at around a 98.6, and honestly, Shadow GM's accuracy isn't, anything to write home about either, but really it's that combo that is getting them that huge lead for this warm-up. So Shadow GM definitely proving themselves to be worthy of any LN picks in this pool, scaring off Envy to thinking about any kind of off-kilter picks like Hybrid 2 or something like that.
Yeah, I think maybe even like all in would be quite a scary pick, especially with that middle section, with that like Jack based section. As you can see, Envy actually out ratioing Shadow, but just finding more of the bad judgments, which will definitely be probably one of the main cause of probably the main cause of losing points in this probably in this entire match.
Yeah, and I think Envy in their last match proved that they are pretty prone to bad judgments, especially when it comes to LN, I believe, on ukulele or something like that. They did pick up a couple greats and even a bad to go with it. So
Yes, ukulele.
yeah, definitely very challenging LN map of last pool. So I'd assume that with the rolls going out now and be getting that first ban out, we are gonna see the ban onto LN1. Totally makes sense. Never Dreaming Night Girl is very coordination based, so you are susceptible to misses or bad judgments.
Oh yeah, we're gonna see Guitar Still Suck. I think this came from Eterna, if I'm not wrong.
I'm not too sure, but regardless, that is a pretty nice Rice pick. I do think that when you are at a very, very high Rice level like Envy is, it just kind of turns into an ag pick, and really it's about getting as many Marvelouses as possible and minimizing the perfect count instead. So I really guess that a B1SS is going to be in store for Envy on that pick. And Shadow GM going with the Protect onto LN2, getting what they can in the LN pool. So that's your Gane picked, and Rice 2 is going to be banned. Totally makes sense again.
I am very correct. This is from Eterna by I Like XD.
Yeah, and I believe this is
Oh,
on
Rice
that
2 getting the
1.1.
ban.
Yeah, Rice 2 totally makes sense for someone like Shadow GM's ban. Again, it's something that Envy can just act the entire map of its very, very comfortable 210 Icy World jump stream. So
yeah, an instant
nice.
pick into Vortex.
Great pick by Envy to start off this match. Bit of a mixed rice, some tech elements here and there, and a lot of very awkward Jack transitions is really the name of the game on this map. So we are looking forward to see how Envy and Shadow GM can handle all of them.
Yeah, this is very technical, especially near the end. So I think this is probably going to rely on who misses first.
Yeah, definitely whoever misses first, whoever gets that first blood is going to be on the back foot. But honestly, I don't think that these players really would drop on a map like this. Maybe on some of the bursts if they aren't fully focused. But as it stands now, Envy and Shadow GM pretty much tied up in accuracy. Shadow GM with a slight lead, maybe taking a bit more 300s than usual, but has quickly caught up as both of them get to that combo cap.
Yeah, it's 99.87 and 99.83. Envy just having the slightest of score in their lead. But I'm sure even just a couple 300s will swing it into Shadow GM's way.
Yeah, these bursts coming out, third of the map out of the way now, and Envy and Shadow GM doing just fine overall. I don't think a grade has come out of either one of them. However, really it is about that MA, and Envy holds that very slight advantage, so they do get a bit of leeway coming in. And Shadow GM takes the first drop, couldn't deal with Jax, is gonna be on the back foot for the back half of this map, and Envy running away with it now. quick little breather here, and NV 99.88 has risen ever since the start of this map. And Shadow GM toiling down at that 99.64 accuracy. That was quite the dirty drop, just could not recover back to where they came from. And a miss and some change is going to be needed in order for Shadow GM to have a shot in this map. However, with it finishing up, it doesn't seem likely. NV handling that last burst very well, and is going to take home very scary 996 to start off this match.
V1 double S. That's insane. Yeah, I believe that will be the first breakpoint of this match too. Wait, no, never mind. I forgot MV won the roll. And immediately going into long note 3.
Yeah, long note 3 being picked. Little warm up before I assume Shadow GM will go into LN2 after this, but for now, Mei-chan pretty dense overall. Penguinosity LN map, so I do think that NV has a bit of work cut out to him. I do think that with the density in this map, it might be kind of hard, and NV might catch a stray miss at any point. So remains to be seen, but it does really kind of test whether or not NV can FC the map comfortably.
Yeah, this map being quite release based, but thankfully for its short length, just being under 2 minutes, can definitely throw a lead into the other player's favor, even for the most minor mistakes.
Off to the races now, and Shadow GM picks up a very early 200, untraded by Envy for the moment, so very quick lead for Envy as they get up to the combo cap. 99.86 is very, very impressive. Actually takes a very dirty miss, so drops down almost a whole percentage. Unfortunate drop by Envy, but just couldn't get that coordination down pat. Shadow GM even struggling just a little bit. 99.69. Not super clean by any means, but it is enough to get the job done for the moment.
Oh, Xiao finds a miss.
Yeah, that was such a crazy miss as well. It was on that left-hand jack outside column. So now things are pretty much tied up as Shadow GM tries to get back up to the combo cap. The bar is going to slowly turn and maybe even tie up just a little bit. Shadow GM with a very, very slightly 99.54 to 99.51. The misses are the same, but I do think that the bad judgments are towards Shadow GM. 1/4 of the map left, and Envy takes their second break in the match. That's an isolated one as well, so has to do something. Ball is now in Shadow GM's court.
Yeah, despite Envy reaching the 400 combo cap, it's not going to do anything.
Yeah, Shadow GM looks way too clean in that ending. Aside from that... Oh, let's see. Okay, no one gets faked out by the fake out, but Shadow GM cleaning up things very nicely. Aside from that one miss, just 5 greats to go along with it. And unfortunate, I think 4 total slider breaks from Envy, as well as the 3 goods is just going to do it.
Yeah, as now it's Envy's pick. Won't be surprised if they stick into that Rice range and maybe go for the protect guitar still suck.
Yeah. Nice pick by Envy. Gonna go ahead and pick their protect. Guitar still suck. A lot of streams, broken streams go along with this. And if it's anything to go off of, Envy should be quite comfortable with this one, just like they were with Vortex.
Yes, indeed. Here we go. This is our more technical side of things. This is very, Like, especially near the ending, very tricky to hit.
Yeah, definitely agree 100%, especially even in most of the sections. And Shadow GM actually fingers off the keyboard, missing the first couple of notes. Very unfortunate, so it's going to start with a bit of a deficit to go by. And as you were saying, I mean, there are a lot of weird snappings throughout this map as well. So it is quite hard. And Envy actually taking a break too. That's going to deal a bit more damage than Shadow GM's miss from the start. So Shadow GM now has the lead.
Yeah, and we haven't even gotten to the hard section yet.
No, not at all. These are pretty simple bursts compared to the rest of the map. And Shadow GM is going to have about a 10k lead this early on, so that's quite large.
Yeah, but there is still more of this map left. As we get more of these streams, as the song begins to get a bit faster, as more of these streams get faster, and here we go. It's pretty much a relentless massacre from now on.
Yeah, things have picked up. Shadow GM and Envy doing nicely with those flams. Only a third of the map left for Envy to make something happen. However, Shadow GM stoutly in the lead for this last fourth. Things slow down just a little bit for them to take a break, catch up, catch their breath before we get into that last section.
Yep.
Last couple of little bursts coming up. Pretty much the map is over and done with. And we are going to see Shadow GM taking it with a 990, even with that miss in the first couple of notes. Very impressive performance by them to come back and take out Envy on a rice map. So that's the first break point of the match.
Yeah, first break point of the match. That is going to really kind of throw everything away for Envy. Shadow GM's going to go for a long no 2 now. Try to capitalize off of that break point and try to make it 3-1.
Yeah, doubling up on their lead would be huge, so it is very important that Shadow GM takes this next map to get to match point, because with that break point, really it's on Envy to get the break point back. And with how things went on LN3, it doesn't seem too likely on this map.
And also, a little bit of an update on the other two matches. Beta Carotene versus Cow ended in a win by default for Beta Carotene. They will be advancing to losers round of 16. And Epsilon is up 2-0 against Ketsu. So a little bit of your information on the other couple matches. But for now, sticking to this map here. This is definitely, I think, the longest pick in the pool, besides Tiebreaker.
I think so, yes. It really does kind of test the mental stamina and consistency that you can aim for. And Shadow GM currently a bit less consistent than Envy, hitting a bit more 300s, especially with the releases. But Envy, yeah, does take a couple of late 200s. So for now, Shadow GM has that slight lead.
Yeah, as we continue through this, it's basically going back and forth now. But Shadow GM having the accuracy lead, it's going to stay in their court for a bit, as we're only just a quarter through the chart. As I am mistaken, this is the second longest besides Tiebreaker. It is Immortality Math Club being the longest.
Ah, yes. Who could forget the stamina pick? Envy picking up a decently clean break. Maybe the silver lining in it. However, for now, I mean, Shadow GM does have that lead and has gained a bit more with that break. in general, it does seem that Envy is taking a lot of late 200s, just the unwillingness to let go. So Shadow GM, almost at that 99.7 mark, has really kind of capitalized on that.
Yeah, as that lead is actually still very close. I'm sure if Shadow GM ends up finding a pretty nasty drop in this next next half of the chart, I'm sure it will stay or it will go into Envy's lane. Since Envy's drop was relatively clean, it was just quite not really late into the map either, so there is still room for Envy to climb up.
There definitely is. However, I do think that Shadow GM is going to need to trade pretty much more than one break if anything is to start happening on the side of Envy.
Yeah, as we get into a more rice section there, I'm gonna put that rice in my long note, but I'm not the judge. As it's starting to get a bit more close, Envy almost a 10th behind Shadow. It's just Shadow GM is tanking this chart, 99.7, but more of these long notes get more dense. They slowly start to turn into inverse.
And especially with the awkward releases too, you see both players taking a couple of 200s to boot as the song rears its head and tries to end. See Shadow GM so comfortable on these patterns, just not willing to break on it, and that is the difference maker. Envy with those 2 breaks really is gonna make Shadow GM take this 3rd point. It's gonna be 3-1 here, and Envy
Yeah,
is gonna need to find an answer.
Shadow GM going to take it to match point, as it is now Envy's pick. They don't have many rice maps left. They're probably gonna have to go to the hybrids.
With Rice 2 banned, I believe Rice 3 and Rice 4 are still in play if Envy so chooses. However, Envy is going to try to pick the banned map of Rice 2.
Yeah, can we get Rice 2 up there real quick? Yeah, we got Rice 3 and Rice 4 still on the board. And I think Envy protected Rice 3 if I'm... No, Rice 1 was the protect. Whoops. I'm thinking of a different match.
Yeah, Rice 1 was protect, and Envy is going to go ahead and go for Rice 4. Kind of like the stamina-ish pick. I don't think many of the patterns are too hard for these players on this map. Really, it's just about consistency.
Yeah, and here we go. Shadow GM looking to take the victory and move on to, I believe this is a winner's bracket round. Yep, this is a winner's bracket round, looking to secure their ticket into the winner's round of 16 and be looking to stay alive and push this to match or push it to tiebreaker.
Yeah, winner of this match is going to go ahead into the winner's bracket facing the winner of GS Link and Era Basil. That's going to be, I believe, later today. But for now, Shadow GM actually takes yet another early drop in the map. We're going to have to see if they can make some magic happen again, even with that early drop, and still win out the point. And Envy actually a bit of a misjudgment on the patterns. A couple of 100s and 200s on that, I think, jump trill. So now things are looking pretty close in terms of accuracy. However, it is just that one miss that is the difference.
Yeah, as we continue throughout this chart, we're only a quarter in. As Envy 99.7, but it is really close. It's just Shadow finding an early break. Really going to really put the gap in there. But despite that, Shadow actually almost tying Envy with accuracy. I'm sure if Shadow gets the accuracy advantage, that lead will slowly chip away and go to Shadow.
Yeah, and Shadow does have half the map to make that happen. Despite both of their pretty bad starts, I would say, they've done well to recover. So it really is who can finish strong.
Yeah, Envy leading by about, I would say, about 4,000 points. As Shadow's really catching up now, 99.81 to 99.83. Even just a 200 from Envy could swing things the other way.
Yeah, stream section coming out, both of them handling it very well. No bad judgments from either of them so far. Things are picking up just a little bit more streams to go with, gets a little bit more trilly. However, they are doing just fine. Slows down once again, picks back up, and Envy and Shadow GM, no bad judgments in sight. Fourth of the map left, and it seems like they're just climbing and climbing in terms of accuracy.
It looks like Shadow GM is holding on as Shadow finds a 200. That is not going to find him in the long range. Shadow finds another miss. And that is just going to put the nail in the coffin. There is still roughly an eighth of the map left, but Shadow running out of air on this chart. As the map slowly winds down, all that's left is this little jack section. And it looks like Envy is going to live another day.
Yeah, Envy looking way too comfortable on this map for Shadow GM to have any chance in staging a comeback. It seems like this map is over and through with. It got a little dicey in the mid sections as Shadow GM climbed up in accuracy. However, Envy ultimately had control from the very beginning. Very strong 994 from Envy, even including the 3 greats and 100. Shadow GM, a couple more 300s, couple more greats,
Yo,
and of
congrats to
course those
Shadow
2 minutes
GM for winning. Congrats to Shadow for winning this match, 4-1.
Oh, I didn't even realize. Yeah, since Bancho bugged out our stream client, current score is gonna be 3-2. It is Shadow GM's pick, just in case you guys were dozing out.
Yeah, 3-2. And they're gonna go for Hybrid 2.
Hybrid 2, a good pick. This is the more LN leaning map in the hybrid pool. A lot of LN density-ish style patterns and some burst thrown in. So I think it'll be a good test for both of them. Envy should have the upper hand when it does come to overall ratio. Shadow GM probably will do very well in the LN sections and hopefully look to maybe have a misadvantage or overall bad judgment advantage over Envy as those sections come up.
Yeah, but here we go. Underway with Hybrid 2. Maybe Higashi. As we see, an early advantage from Envy, accuracy-wise.
All good, and as we get back into the match, sorry for the bit of a delay, issue being sorted through. You see that Envy still holds that slight advantage sort of the way in. Doesn't do well as Shadow GM picks up a couple of 200 on the long, a couple more as well, dropping their accuracy all the way down to 99.67 compared to Envy's 99.81.
Yeah, Envy having the advantage going into the second half of this chart, but just the slightest of advantages. And here we go, second half of the chart. More of these LN releases coming in. As Envy drops to 200. It's really close now. What is this?
Yeah, a couple more 200s and the gap has now closed. It really shows how close both of these competitors are when it comes to mixed LN and Rice accuracy. Things are separated by only about 0.03% as the map gears to end, and Shadow GM looks to stage a comeback on their own pick.
There's not much map left. It's just Envy is gonna have to hold on. Envy cannot afford any bad judgments. Not the baddest of, like, not even 200 at this point. Envy secured it. We're going to a tiebreaker.
Envy doing so well to just clear the last section of the map very cleanly. Shadow GM unfortunately taking up a bit too many 200s on the long note sections. That's not something that I'd expect either, and it's just beat out in terms of perfect count and great count. So Envy is now rewarded.
Everyone.
Envy is now rewarded with their own breakpoint, and now lives to see the tiebreaker.
And we get to see Vanessa come out. At everyone, tiebreaker now. Undeniably the essence of all tournaments.
Yeah, this is a very, very scary pick, I think, for both of them. And just looking at the length of it, they do have a very, very long bloodbath in store. I know they picked Shirogane and the Marmalade Butcher song, but I mean, 3.5 minutes is nothing compared to when you're playing 5.5 of what is amounting to be pretty much a map geared towards the difficulty of the next round.
Oh yeah, round of 16 really going to really gonna give some shock. Well, I wouldn't know because I'm not a map pooler. So it's all those people behind the map pooling team. But anywho, here we go into Vanessa. Our first tiebreaker being shown in this round. Place your bets, everyone. But this no prediction.
And what a way to have this battle. Two countrymen from Mexico battling it out. Envy has been doing so well in the Rice maps. Xiao GM seems to usually have the lead when it comes to LN. So when both of these kinds of patterns meld together, it's hard to tell who is gonna take it.
As I think a bit of a client. No, it's just not in sync. But here we go. Everything up in sync. Ready with Vanessa.
Very, very slow start, but Envy takes an early 200. Things are picking up now. Couple more releases to deal with.
Yeah, Shadow GM really pulling off pretty well accuracy from the beginning, but Boba finds a miss. Pretty nasty drop.
Yeah, in those
almost
rolls
dropping
as well.
Yeah, almost dropping them down to the 98. As they now drop down to that 98 section. Envy holding on to a 99.6, but that was very early. Not even a quarter in. Would not be surprised if I would not be surprised if that lead starts to shrink in the meantime.
Shadow GM
Ooh.
taking yet another miss to the transition. Very unfortunate. Envy doing very, very well to keep up with the tempo of this song, 99.71, as Shadow GM just takes a slew of misses, dropping back down sub 99% for them. Envy trades out one, but there's still many more left untraded in total throughout this map.
Yeah, we're only a third in this 5-minute, 30-second long marathon. As a little bit of these mini jacks accompanied with these short, long notes. As mainly now we're getting into the rice bit of this tiebreaker. Envy holding on to 99.6. Shadow GM just behind by 0.5%.
And both of them handling these jacks and streams very, very well. Envy actually taking a drop as I say that. So now Envy's sitting at about a 99.5% accuracy. Shadow GM has gone up, done very well for the rest of this map to get up to that 99.3. So now accuracies are looking a bit closer than they were from the start of this map. Things are looking a bit more dicey to Envy as their lead drops from over 10k to about 8k.
Shadow GM finds a break as we are into the back half of the chart. Envy with the lead still. Shadow GM finds another miss. Looks like Envy has a slightly larger lead than they had before.
It's quite unfortunate too. As Shadow GM, it seems like Shadow GM is just Sisyphus. Every time they get the ball rolling, it just drops it and has to restart all over again. Just in a constant state of having to try to get that lead up. And again, as Shadow GM almost gets that combo cap, just takes off a random miss. And now Envy is rewarded in kind.
Yeah, as we only have a quarter left, Envy really starting to run away with this now as Shadow GM is trying their hardest. They have catched up in accuracy, or they have caught up in the accuracy range, only being 0.3%. But is there enough map left? We're gonna have to see something devastating come from Envy if you want to see that lead start to equalize up a bit. But as it stands, Envy looking to run away with this, as there is still lots of map left, but Shadow finds another break.
Yeah, yet another stray.
Yeah, there's only about an eighth of the map left. Maybe just only like a 16th now, or a 12th maybe.
Yeah, pie chart aside, Envy, I mean, it has just looked so consistent. Has taken a couple of misses, but overall, in the sections where they stand out, they really are just getting that accuracy down pat and performing up to expectations. We thought at some point it might have been a sweep, or sorry, it might have been an upset on the side of Shadow GM, but Envy proves us all wrong and runs away with it, taking the 4-3 win over Shadow GM in the round
Yeah,
of 32.
as Shadow GM is going to drop down to the round of 16 losers bracket to verse Epsilon, as Envy moves on to either verse Link or Basil, which will be in about, I would say, I think their match is at 0 UTC, so about 2 hours and 20 minutes from now. But we're still going to be trucking along through this block. We have a lot of matches. We have, just to wrap it up until Sunday, we have I Love Request 5, also known as No versus Jazzver, Mr. Moo versus Seth, Sidra versus Cheems Ball, and then we have all of Sunday to
Yeah,
deal
but that's
with.
gonna do it for now. We will see you guys in about 20 minutes for the next stream. That is going to be, I believe, I Love
In
Recruits
about 20
5
minutes.
against Jasper, as Walmart said. So we'll see you very soon.
So long, everyone.